Hello, my true crime lovelies. How are you? I hope you are well. Thank you to everybody who joined yesterday in the premiere for Lori's cringe cross of Brandon Boudreaux and how it backfired. A bunch of us hopped over to East Idaho News to watch the live feed there, only to wait and wait and wait. There was court had opened, it had started, but Judge Boreski had excused the jurors, cleared the courtroom, and then there was a secret hearing, and a lot of us wondered why. Well, I think I've pieced it together thanks to a lazy gamer. He and I occasionally email. Before I get into it, though, I do want to run the intro, thank the members. Thank you for being here. Hit that like button, thumbs up if you enjoy the coverage. I appreciate you. It helps out a lot. See you on the other side. All right. So, like I said, let me make myself bigger first. Lazy Gamer and I occasionally email, and he had mentioned, we were talked about Lori and some other stuff, that maybe the wait was due to HIPAA. And I was like, HIPAA? Why would it be HIPAA related? I would think it would have something to do with what happened that day. So, of course, I had to go digging, and this is what I found. So, yesterday, this just posted today, there is this document, and we've seen this before. I think it was on the 2nd is the last time, when Lori had her histrionics of, they felt so sad for me. They had to come and get me and drag me over. They didn't have to, ma'am. You could have just got your ass up and walked. But okay, we'll go with your victim story. So it seems something similar happened yesterday on the 9th. This wasn't transmitted until today at 8. It's faster. Last time it was 2 days. I think it happened on the 2nd and it posted on the 4th. So we've got, it's to Trina, the state of Arizona, and Lori, Robert A. Abernathy, Mr. HIPAA himself. We watched that footage where he complained that it was a HIPAA violation when the judge was asking, what her symptoms are, yada, yada. And then Pamela C. Hicks, Miss, I was photocopying photos, but looked like I just rolled out of bed. And then inmate legal services, right? So that, I guess it goes into her file. It is ordered authorizing Maricopa County Sheriff's Office to transport the defendant to court using any means necessary. We are evoking that Malcolm X power to include force to secure the attendance of the defendant for her trial on 6/9/2025 at 10:30 a.m. before the Honorable Justin Boreski, aka he just got promoted to Zaddy, Courtroom 5D, South Court Tower. So perhaps a lazy gamer was onto something, that she, in fact, was not willing to come over and was willing to make everybody wait while they discussed her medical complications. Then also, I went over to East Idaho News because, Nate Eaton, also a zaddy in his own right, had something up. Let's see. How do I get back to... Had posted... Give me 2 shakes, guys. There's a lot of tabs. Yikes. So if you guys don't know, Nate does updates on his own website, eastidahonews.com, as well as on X. That's more of like a minute by minute play. So I was watching that while I was in the chat on East Idaho News YouTube channel. But you see here, 10:56. So let's just go in order, because some of you may have missed this or tuned in after work, and then we're trying to piece it together. So it was really crowded. A lot of people there yesterday. Not everybody was able to get in. Lori was in the courtroom by 10:32 with her advisory attorneys. Judge is on the bench. Judge asked for a sidebar with the parties. They all approach. white noise is played so no one in the room can hear what they're saying. So presumably he's talking about why he had to have this order to get little Miss Daybell's behind over to the court for her trial. And then he asked everyone to clear the room. So I think yesterday I got confused and I thought the jury was already in, but it seems like they weren't. It was just the courtroom was full. So everybody was asked to leave, right? And then that was at 10:34, 10:45. They're still waiting outside the courtroom, unclear what's come up. And then at 10:56, Nate says a Department of Corrections administrator was part of the sidebar. He just walked out of the courtroom. Then the sidebar continued at 11:05. And at 11:08, everyone was let back in. So presumably, just like last time, someone from Department of Corrections was testifying or putting on the record, however it's worded, about Lori's condition, what tests have been done, because last time they did do that openly and publicly. I haven't seen any official filing where she complained about HIPAA, but I do know she asserted that on the record, so perhaps research was done, and now they're just keeping that part closed with like her test results and if she's had Tylenol and whatever it was. And then I've watched a couple of people in there. I can't remember who said it, but like she was coughing apparently uncovered. Like who does that, especially post COVID, but just like in the courtroom. And so it seems like we're back to that. I'm sick again. But at this point, it's over a week, right? That we've had this issue. So a cough shouldn't be. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a therapist. But most of us have had a common cold, right? Because she tested negative for all of her tests. Most of us have had, so we know it's like not COVID or something communicable. Usually can suck it up. Even if you have like a lingering cough, you can usually sit there. And she seemed fine during her questioning, but it seems like that is the ticket. She's feigning sick again. But the issue is, like, then she later complained in the same hearing, and I'll do my update. I'm not going to do it as in depth. I'm going to talk about the tinting guy in the t-shirt because that took over the chat, but that'll be another video for later today. But she had the nerve to complain that witnesses were out of order. Isn't that confusing for the jury? And the judge is like, it's a courtesy. Like the prosecution doesn't have to do it in any particular order. And side note, it's to their benefit to do it in order. So the fact that they're not, it's because things have gone haywire, right? It's better for their own storytelling. It's not better for Lori, but she's complaining just to complain. And then Trina K says, well, I had to rebook flights, which we know she had to do it at least twice, right? Because she rebooked them because she thought the trial would be, excuse me, starting on Monday. Speaking of coughing. And then it ended up not. And then she said, can we put it for Wednesday? And I'll rebook their flights for then. So they had to rebook the flights because of you, Lori, and your pretend it's bigger than Tylenol Robitussin issue. And so, yeah, it's going to be out of order because people have other things to do. We've got people flying in from Idaho, Mr. Tint, who is like my 70s poster boy. But again, there's a whole video for him. And then someone was flying in from California. I want to say she was like in Orange County, Southern California, one of the forensic folks. And so it was like they're out of order because they've been inconvenienced for your illness. And then here you are again on that same morning feigning illness. And so it's like what was it? Watch Dr. Barry, because she did do a video on Saturday. I'll link it in the description box below. Like she's lost control. And so these are the things that she can have control over, right? She's throwing a tantrum. I mean, she made no points yesterday. She looked awful crossing Brandon. She's in over her head. And it is just, I don't get like, how does delaying it further help her at all as far as like, from a defense perspective, like the train is already on the tracks. I don't think Boreski is going to fall for the banana in his tailpipe. You're not going to get a mistrial at this point. You're going to see this through to the end. And if you suck it up, it'll probably be the end by Friday. Do you know? So that seems to be what the wonky part is. A lot of people in the chat were complaining, like, oh, the judge owes us an apology. They didn't start on time. He's not producing a show, it's a trial. They did start on time. They didn't start the hearing on time, but they started the judicial proceedings on time. It just happened to be something that we couldn't be a part of. And it was necessary. Everyone was working because then later people were complaining, oh, they went to lunch so early, they barely started. No, we barely started seeing them, but they started on time. They started at 10:30, at least according to Nate Eaton's notes, and I trust him of what he put in there. They just didn't start with us. Like we're ancillary to the proceedings, right? It's part of the Constitution that we can be a part of it, but he's not producing a show. He's not worried if your popcorn is getting cold because he's taking care of matters. I just wish I could have seen the stern talking to that he gave her, but I can imagine it. And she's here today. It's already going on, but I after I got that note from Lazy Gamer, I had to go down that rabbit hole. So, do you guys think that sounds reasonable? Like it's a HIPAA issue and that's why they locked it out, but the show went on? I mean, I'm over her already. Can we just put her under the prison? Or as Janine used to say during Daryl's trial, under the prison. I'm ready for her to be under the prison. Let me know what you guys think. Like, I'm over her. Let's get this show done with, right? All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Toodles.